Hello everyone, welcome to our channel again. Now we have another awesome video of trade-off question, which is one kind of product execution question here in front of you, where I'm the interviewee and somebody is asking me a question. Let's go and see how it goes.
Is like a maybe a root cause or debugging question. Um, like Instagram feed impressions are down 50% day on day. What would you do?
So you mentioned interactions, right?
Sorry, Instagram feed impressions.
Feed impressive clarifying questions. When you say, first thing is, I know Instagram as a product. Feed is something which, like, when you open Instagram, the first thing you see is a news feed where you see posts of your friends, videos, ads, um, those kind of stuff, right? That's the feed.
Right.
And when you say Insta feed impressions are down, um, that means um, the people who are commenting on your post and sharing your post and liking your post are down, or I think that's what it means, right?
No, I think what you're describing is like interactions on posts, but I think impressions means just views. So I think that means like the number of views on Instagram feed posts are down 50% day on day. So, well, I mean, it doesn't have to be posted. I guess it could be reels. They have reels in the feed now, but let's say like clarify like the number of items that users view in the feed is going down 50% day by day.
User view, right?
Yeah.
Got it. So the number of items that user views. Give me 1 second to think about it. So number of views on, like, week over week, day over day, something we discovered yesterday or something we discovered last quarter.
Um, let's say it's over the past week.
Okay, sounds good. Cool. Sounds good. So how I will answer this question is, I will talk about the goal of Instagram. We'll talk about the users who comes to Instagram as a platform. We'll talk about the root cause. Root cause will be divided into internal and external, and finally conclusion. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. Few other clarifying questions that comes to my mind right now is, when you say 50% like views on Insta feed are down, is it happening globally or just US?
Well, say that we haven't analyzed it too much, but we've noticed it on like the global dashboards.
Got it. And I'm just assuming few other five, six things, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's happening across the all the devices like iOS, Android, and Mac, PC, everywhere, right?
Yes, we haven't uh, yeah we haven't really investigated too much yet. So um, we don't see big variations amongst device.
Got it. Okay. Sounds good. Cool. Let's talk about it. So, the goal and mission for Instagram, which comes to mind, is it's a company of Meta as a big company. Meta owns different products. Facebook and Instagram is one of them. Meta mission is to connect people and um, help them seamlessly post photos, videos, and share the world. I think this is something which I came up right now from myself because I'm a user of Instagram. This is what Instagram people do. They share photos, videos, and share what the world with each other. and it connects. It seamlessly connects with the mission of Facebook, which is connecting people, building community, bringing the world closer. So that's why Facebook bought Meta bought Instagram. So both seamlessly work together, which is good. Uh, Now coming to the users, people who can I can think of are it's a two-sided marketplace. So basically, users who are post, basically they are the creators. I don't want to call them influencers because influencers are the one niche from the posters who have a lot of views and comments. So people who post and people who view or comment, right? So basically they are the one who consume. So one is a producer, one is a consumer, and third is Insta as a platform. So these are three users that comes to my mind. And when you say number of items that user view is down, it can mean n number of things. So let's go to the deep down. Okay, what can happen? So let's talk about, actually before going into internal, I want to talk about external. External first, yeah. So I will talk about different hypotheses that can go bad in terms of we looking at this. So one hypothesis can be H1. I'm calling hypothesis H1 is when you say number of items that a user is viewing is down, that one thing that comes to mind is number of people who are creating contents are down. So hypothesis one is number of users creating content is down from last week. So that's hypothesis one. Hypothesis two can be uh, number of users who are viewing content is down. Um, from the internal point of view, I can say hypothesis three can be the platform is down last 1 week and we saw a decline.
Sorry, but by platform is down, do you mean like the whole platform is down, or
Yeah,
like parts of it, or?
yeah. Actually, the servers that host Instagram as a journal. Actually, you asked a good question. So, what when I say platform is down, I mean the whole entire platform is down, which is very rare. I will come to the whole hypothesis again and see which one makes sense. But I with this I mean the entire Instagram is down.
Okay.
Fourth can be the feed feature is down, meaning that these servers hosting that feature is not working. Hypothesis 5 can be there is a bug in the feature. Hypothesis 6 can be we launch something last week which led to a decline. And external I'm thinking now is hypothesis 7, let's say there is there is a competitor in the market where traffic is going. There can be. I'm thinking like there's some holiday season going on and people are spending time with their family. So holiday season, so stuff like that. So I will stop here. I would like to revisit all the hypotheses which makes more sense. But before I do that, any questions you have?
I think. Well, yeah, I'm still not exactly sure about the one where you said that like all of Instagram is down, because I think in that case we would have like, you know, there'd be, if there's a whole platform wide outage, we would know about it, and we fix it because it was like super number one priority if like nothing of Instagram is working. Uh, but I think if, I mean, user views going down is, I mean, it's going down, but it's not zero. So
Right.
I think that implies that Instagram, at least part of Instagram, is still working, not that the whole platform is completely down.
That is actually a good comment. So I don't think also I want to disregard this entire uh, hypothesis because if this is down, that's a major blackout and it's a P0 thing. So people will like the platform will fix it. So I will just disregard this.
Okay. Well, I think I think it's well I think it's unlikely that all of Instagram was down, but perhaps I don't know, perhaps there could have been like issues in certain like regions or like I don't know intermittently. Um, I think maybe that could be a possibility. But I mean, it's don't you don't have to keep it. I think
Yeah. Okay.
if you think it's unlikely.
Sounds good. Cool. So, revisiting all the hypotheses. So, number of users creating content is down. That means the creator side of the things, people who are posting comments, they are down, and which will lead to our initial problem, which was number of items that people are viewing. So, I think in order to keep the platform healthy, both consumer and producer side of things should be increasing. So I would like to see um, from this hypothesis, I would like to see our North Star metric, which is one second, North Star metric, which is um, just give me one second. People who are posting, people who are posting. Yeah, I would like to see the watch time. Um, so watch time is a metric which will tell the platform is healthy in terms of. I think you initially mentioned that the number of items that user is viewing is going down. That means the watch time is also going down. Watch time is something if it's going up, that means our viewer side is also going up because they're spending more time in watching the platform or looking at the feeds, uh, and, and that is directly proportional to like people who are like adding more content. So that's a North Star metric. So if the yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify, but watch time. Do you what? Sorry, when I think watch time, I mean I automatically think of like the time you spent watching like videos or
Hmm,
reels. But I think what it sounds like, are you
time spent.
describing like the total time spent on Instagram?
Yeah,
Instead?
time spent on the feed. Yeah, that is true. Yes. So that's what I mean. Sorry about that. So watch time means
Okay.
yeah. So time spent on the feed, and time spent can be impression time, can be likes, comments, shares. It's a very generic metric, and we can go into deep down. But this is a generic overall metric which I want to measure. It will tell the health of the platform in terms of producer and consumer side. And overall, I think this is going down because people are number of items that the people are viewing is going down. Um, so that means number of users, it can mean number of users creating content is going down. So we have to check on the creator side, if the platform, if the number of creators posting comments are up or down. If it's going down, that means like are they going on into a different platforms, is there a holiday season? So I think all these hypotheses are linked to. So let me write it down. So root cause can be if the creators are going down, that means it can be competitor, it can be holiday season, or it can be a bug on the platform, it can be uh, that feature which is uploading is um, which is a bug actually is down. So I think these are three things which can happen, which I can think of. Okay, from the number of users who are viewing the content is down, is that the hypothesis for number of items that users view is down? Yes, I think that can also be one of the reasons. So this is from the consumer side, so people who are viewing the content is down. Same thing can happen. There's a new competitor like TikTok is there in the market, or maybe new competitor came in. There's a holiday season, or there's a bug in the platform. So same thing can happen. Um, there is a competitor in the market. There's holiday season. I think these are all the root causes. Not now. I'm thinking these are not the hypotheses. So I will just I'm just disregarding them. Just saying that okay no. Then from the internal point of view, the feed feature is down. The servers hosting the feature is not working. I think these are easy to identify and easy to fix. We will check whether we have launched some new feature or what's happening on the bug side. We will measure some telemetry, um, and we launch something which is also geoprodizing this new feature. So these are some things which I would like to measure. So yeah, anything you want to focus more, and I can go into deep down into that more.
Yeah, so I think the North Star metric you identified, like looking at the overall time spent on the feed decreasing, I think that makes sense. Because if the impressions are down, you would also expect the time spent to go down, and it's like a matter of figuring out why. Okay, so let's assume that we don't see there's no change in the number of users creating content, but and the number of users viewing content it is slightly down. Like when you say that number of users viewing content is down, can you clarify that? Like what do you mean, like viewing content, like viewing the feed at all, or like viewing at least one post in the feed, or
Yeah, so overall population of the users who are viewing the feeds, I would say, like, let me clarify that 1 second. So I think instead of writing this, it would be better to write.
okay, so let's assume the DAUs on Instagram feeds are down by not a huge amount. Let's say like 3%. Um, well, okay, yeah. Let's say okay, let's say 5%. Right? It's like 5% compared to like the week before and like the previous weeks in the past month. Um,
Got it. Okay. So if the number of users viewing the content or like active users from the consumer side, they are down by 5%. It can also mean, okay, that's a big number, but we also want to see whether what is the overall health on the platform, as in, um, did we see any, just give me 1 second to think about who are basically commenting, sharing, and liking the feed. I want to check two things. One is number of users on the Meta platform. Meta has like Facebook as one of the main platform. I want to check over there also. Did we see our consumer, the viewers going there, and some of the users going to that platform and leaving us? Maybe it's because there's more creators coming on that platform, and there's a new feature that came to Facebook that people want to try, and comment likes. That I think that's what people like to do. That is one thing I would like to measure. And maybe they launch a different app also, for example, or different product. Like for example, Meta launch a new VR application, virtual reality or AI feature. They want to try, so it can be one thing. Second thing is, did we see any shift in other Instagram features? So Instagram has other features like stories, reels, messaging, shops. Did we also, yeah, those kind of things. So 4 or 5 things. Did we see an increase in the number of users, consumers over there who are doing likes and comments, and they're getting off from the platform? So these are two things which I want to see.
okay, so let's say we don't see any change in Meta's user numbers, and we don't we don't see any like meaningful change in other like the usage metrics of other Instagram features either.
Hmm. Got it. Okay. Just give me 1 second. So, is we still see a decline in the number of consumers? What about if we have a third thing can be a new competitor is launching a product and we see our traffic going to that. Like it's difficult to track it because it's a different competitor. Like for example, TikTok came up with a new feature and people are going to that platform. But we can know that okay, this is a new feature which came up. This is something which can easily be done. But whether our traffic is going to that direction, that is difficult. But getting to know the feature, that is easy. So is there something new? My question is there something new that our competitors came up recently?
No, I mean, let's assume TikTok is it's still there, still a top competitor. They have not launched anything new, and yeah, so I think I mean Instagram already having a high user base. It's like pretty. Even if TikTok did launch something, I think it would be very drastic for like the feed impressions to go down 50% just because of like a new TikTok feature. So I would say we should look a little more on the internal side to like look at what has happened like within the Instagram product.
Okay, what about like the like there's a bug in the feature of Instagram feed where basically there's creators who are creating the contents, which is there's no problem on that, but from the viewer side they are not able to like maybe refresh the page, or scroll the page, or getting those updates from the creators, and they're bored with looking at the same content and they're leaving the platform. That can be one thing. So basically I'm just talking about like a bug section, which can be a broader section. We can go into deep down what can happen wrong, but there's an internal bug, and also like servers are down is also part of the bug.
Yeah, that's a good yeah, that's a good thing to check. Let's say the um, yeah, we don't nothing is wrong with the servers, and yeah, looking at our like health dashboard, we also don't see any anomalies with like or errors with like posts not getting created or like feeds not refreshing.
Okay, so
Um,
there's no anomalies over there. Okay, feeds not
yeah.
refreshing and stuff. Okay. uh, did we launch a new feature recently where we are basically the traffic is going, um, like we as Instagram?
Yes, we. I mean, Instagram launches changes like every week. Some of them may be like small, some of them may be big. So yeah, I think we should maybe it'd be good to like brainstorm like what types of potential changes could lead to such a drastic decline.
Got it. Okay, so new feature came up, in the industry right now. People are working on VR AR features. Basically, Instagram came up with a feature for AR and VR where basically people can wear the headset and like put their phones in or connect their phone through VR, the Meta VR Quest, and they can see the entire video in virtual reality. And that's maybe one of the declining, and people love those engagement, people like those like features. Maybe that is one of the reasons. So I think it started happening from last week. So as a PM I would like to measure what are different features that we launch, and what is the engagement, and what is the consume like what is the total number of users, consumers who are viewing, liking, sharing, going up or down. I want to see that trend also.
Okay. And besides looking at like the data and metrics, like there are other ways you would try to look at like what's happened around product changes.
Apart from that, what happened around product changes? Let me think about it. So the product changes can be like the functional requirements or non-functional. So functional are something where basically we are adding new features which are visible to users. Non-functional are something which are not visible to the users, like availability, security, reliability, that kind of stuff. So we can like I don't think reliability, availability, and security are something visible to the users because those are backend things. Um, so I think the decline that we see is mostly because of the functional thing and something from the functional which has changed. So uh, maybe we have changed something from the product feature perspective where the users are not seeing the same user journey or user experience they used to see before. So maybe we changed drastically something with the newsfeed. We added a new feature, like instead of scrolling, they have to do a reverse scroll. I'm just making an example, or a side scroll, left or right, which can be done. It's not something that cannot be done, but a new drastic feature change and 50% is a major decline, so there has to be something bad or something new drastic that we launch. So that's another thing which I can think of.
Um, yeah, I think yeah, that is yeah, I think that's what yeah, I think that that's a good thing to focus on. What I mean, again, besides the metrics, are there like other sources of data you could use to inform your analysis?
Yeah,
Like
we can
besides
of course do.
that,
Yeah, we can also do A/B testing. So, like with A/B testing, we can for sure measure whether this is something our hypothesis is right or wrong. So we can launch with the same geography. Sorry, we can launch these two different features where a user has to scroll up like the regular pattern, and the second geography where the user will see the new way, and will see how much is the engagement for the viewer, like what are the likes, comments, shares, the watch time, the time spent on Instagram, and the impression number of impressions. All these measures we will do for these two metric, and we do it for like I think a week. We will run it, and we'll get that data from that geography and see whether that is the root cause of
okay, yeah, I mean that's I mean A/B testing is a generally a good way to check the metric, like if there are negative impacts on the metrics with a new feature. I think in this case, they probably did A/B testing and
it.
decided to roll it out more widely, but there was clearly a negative impact, that they much more negative impact than they expected. Um,
I see. So the question is, what other things we can do apart from the metric, apart from A/B testing, that we can for sure know that this is a root cause.
yes.
Hmm. I think we do surveys. I'm not sure whether we can do surveys on like B2C audience. There's millions of users. We can do surveys of like hundreds of users. We can talk to them. We can call them to our company. We can do some feedback analysis. We can do all of that sort kind of things.
You can. I think that would take quite
Long
that would
time,
take
yeah.
some time, and 50% day on day for the past week is really drastic.
Yeah.
So we want to have a faster way of seeing uh, what is what is the what is happening.
Another thing which comes to my mind is like we can also see bad marketing, like in terms of like people posting comments and liking on other forums. Like it's a it's a public company, and there's like a lot of channels out there. There's Reddit, there's like Facebook also. People post comments and share. They will say, okay, this is the new feature that Facebook has launched. It's bad, and we don't like it. People. So as a company, we need to watch all those bad marketing that people have done against that feature. So that will also give us some insight. Okay, whether the this feature is working or not.
Yeah, and to clarify that by marketing, I think you mean like feedback, like user.
User feedback,
feedback,
yeah,
like comments, like on other
on other platforms, yeah.
platforms.
Yes,
Yeah,
LinkedIn, Facebook, even Instagram, or yeah, Reddit,
yeah, yeah,
Blind.
yeah, yeah. I think that's a good I think that's a good thing to check. And yeah, I think like with any major launch or change, with a product at Instagram or Facebook scale, there's bound to be comments or commentary on it, like whether within the product itself, on other social platforms, like in the news, in the media. Um, so yeah, those are all things we can check. But yeah, I think you basically covered. I think we basically covered everything. I think the yeah. So I mean, basically, yeah.
Got it.
We launched. We made a change to the feed, and users really didn't like it. Like according to the um, the feedback.
Got it.
The specific change I had in mind was the change to start promoting content slash posts slash reels from people you don't know in your feed. This is something that like Facebook actually, or sorry, Instagram actually did release some time ago, and users were outraged about it and like said they were gonna quit Instagram. And then the VP of product actually like rolled it back or like gave yeah. And I think now they still do have posts from people that you don't know, but I think it's less aggressive than it was originally. I think when they first introduced it, it was like super aggressive and people like got really really angry about it. So yeah, that's the scenario I had in mind. Is like because they changed the feed and they started introducing posts from people you don't know. People got really mad, then they stopped viewing the feed because they don't, you're like, let's say like normally you would scroll to maybe you scroll like 20 items on average, and now it's like dropped to like 10 because people are upset that they kept seeing feeds from random people and not their sorry, they're upset that they kept seeing posts from their random people and not their friends. And I mean, maybe some of these people are still using stories. That's why I said there's like not a big change in the number of people using stories or other Instagram features. But then some people are just so upset, they just like, I mean, they're the ones saying they're going to quit Instagram. And like, that's also like why you see the DAUs going down 5%.
Right, right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think, sorry, do you have like any like self like reflection that you want to share or?
Yeah, I'm always confused with this kind of question, like root cause analysis, where should I, like when I'm talking about internal and external root causes, should I keep on checking with you, like is this the root cause? Is this something that I should go deep down into? Is this something I should go deep, or should I list all the laundry list of all the hypotheses and then go one by one? Should I go more deep down into this? Because it's like when I interviewed like Google last year, they asked me like, think about me as your data analyst or data science team, right? So you will give me some question and I will give you some data, right? So I will say yes or no. So I've seen stuff like that also, and I've interviewed with Facebook like 2 years back. They mentioned uh, go whatever you like and then ask me questions. So it's a free flow. I don't know, do not know like what is the right way or wrong way.
Yeah, I'm like quite confused on that as well. I think one point of advice I've seen around these types of questions is to ask up front at the beginning, like, do you have a specific answer in mind that you want me to try to get to, or do you want me to just explore general hypotheses and explain my thinking around the possible hypotheses and possible solutions?
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's a
so I
good way.
think that
Yeah.
having that clarification up front um, helps a lot. And I think at least like I practiced some questions like around so like one question I practiced was like, how would you reduce churn on Uber? And I think that's more of like a, in that case, is like more general. It's like you can talk about like the hypotheses around why people are churning and what you can do to stop it. But then another similar question I got is actually someone who works at Lyft who interviewed me. He asked this question in his interviews. Is um, we see that Uber um, Uber driver activity is going down by 10%. Like what's going on? And so yeah, in that case, I asked him like, yeah, do you have a specific answer I want to try to get to, or do you want me to like explore general hypotheses and potential solutions? And he said he had a specific answer. So like in that case, yeah, I asked specific questions and eventually like narrowed it down to like the general area of what he had in mind.
Got it. Okay, that makes
so,
sense.
I think this type of question is similar as well. Cause I guess because they gave you the data that like it's 50% down. So I just kind of came up with the answer of like the change in the newsfeed is like what I had in mind, and that's why I was trying to like lead you down that path with the data. But I mean, if the interviewer doesn't want you to necessarily come to like one answer, then you could like, I think what you did with like exploring the possible hypotheses is good. I think like they're all like valid. And then in that case, probably you just like pick the ones that you think may be the most valid or like have the like highest probability of being the cause, and then like explain your thinking for exploring those routes and trying to diagnose it.
Got it. Okay, cool. That makes sense. Yeah, I think those are good suggestions. What other things you think of, like from the way I'm answering? Any other feedback you have for me?
Yeah, I think I think the questions you asked were good. I think some advice I've seen around answering this type of question is that like asking the questions about like, is it which country, is it like device, is it external, is there a bug, is there holidays, like those are like the template questions that like everyone knows to ask. So I've seen some advice saying like don't ask all those questions up front, but I think like you want to focus on I guess the user journey and like the different types of users, and then like create some hypotheses around what might be happening with the different users or different parts of the journey. And then you can start asking questions around like is it are we seeing like differences in I don't know, the device or country, or you can ask if you see the problem specifically with the like one side of the user base, which I mean you actually did do that pretty early on, I think, where you're asking if are we seeing the decrease in creators or the viewers, and I said viewers, so yeah, that part was good. And I think it took a while. So I think I was trying to, when I think I probably asked twice, like, are there other metrics or other ways of diagnosing what happened, like other than looking at the data or metrics? And basically I was trying to get to the answer of like user feedback and like customer sentiment. Like it's not just the quantitative data, but like the qualitative data as well that can make an impact. And especially with a platform like a Instagram Scale, it should be easy to get see user feedback and customer sentiment about how users are reacting to visible changes in the product.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah. So you are saying I should be asking those questions initially, like you are pointing me to direction where basically the answer you were asking me for, but it took me some time to come to that answer. So it was
I think like the questions you were asking were right, but yeah, it took a while to get to the answer. I think perhaps if you had I'm not sure what is a faster. Yeah, I think maybe spending some more time exploring like the different sides of the users, and like maybe asking questions um about like what is happening on like the user or like creator side, probably would have helped to like narrow down the paths earlier, rather than like talking about like is it a holiday season, is there a bug, is there yeah, the server issue.
You're right, 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 right.
Yeah, because yeah, I think all those are valid, but yeah, I guess the feedback I've seen on the answering this question is like it they're valid, but it's because everyone knows to like ask those types of questions. If you're just like asking all of those questions one after another, it's like not really helping you stand out in the interview.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
So
sense.
it's like having a better structure around like the user journey, the product flow, and like the types of users, and like trying to narrow it down that way is a better approach.
Got it. Okay. Cool. That makes sense. Thank you so much. This was great.